Hey, what is going on, everyone? It is Troy back here again with some copywriting guides and strategies that you can apply to your business to book more meetings and sell more of your ideal clients. Now, I've had the opportunity to sit down with a lot of different agency owners and business owners recently, and one of the biggest things that they've been telling me they've been struggling with is copywriting for their business. Right. And so we delve into their whole ultimate lead gen process. And when you think about it, cold email really comes down to four key things. The first one being systems. Do you have the right systems in place to end up in the inbox every single time so you're not landing in spam? Second, do you have the right data in place? Are you verifying your catch-alls? Are you ensuring that those emails are quality and that you're sending it to the right persona? Right? The copywriting, which we'll be discussing here today in a little bit of detail around personalization, is do you have the right copy that's compelling enough to book meetings with those individuals? And then lastly here, do you have the right product market fit? Is the offer that you're reaching out to with these individuals going to resonate with what's going on in their daily life? And they're therefore wanting to speak with you because they know that you can help. So when we come down to number three, copywriting, that seems to be one of the biggest sticking points. Now, copywriting is really not that complicated. There's a few key components in it, but a typical email structure, at least for your first email, should look something like this. Some aspect of personalization up at the first line. You come in with a direct offer as to how you can help. You then demonstrate how you help somebody else with that exact same thing. And then lastly, you close out with a CTA. That can be value driven, that can push for a call, or that can just open up a new opportunity for a conversation. So, and the purpose of today's video, and I'll be sharing more videos on these three items, but for today, we're going to be focused on personalization. Now, there's around 6 key ways that I've identified that we can do personalization quickly and effectively. What we're going to do here today is just run through those 6 scenarios and see how they can apply to your business. So let's jump into the first one here. Hyper-personalize. So you really want to use hyper-personalization when you're reaching out to one-to-one individuals. These are your enterprise clients or the whales that you want to go after. You want to show them that you have demonstrated some aspect that you engage with their content, or that you saw their LinkedIn post, or you saw their Twitter post, or you saw a recent news article about them that shows like, hey, I'm aware of your business. I know exactly what's going on in your world, and like I'm curious about it. So, for example, let's just I had a previous one written down here for Andre. Let's go in and check its Twitter profile here again. Awesome, awesome, it's awesome. Let's see. Oh, this is good. Looks like that's a little bit old, so let's find something a little bit more recent. We want to do always within 90 days. Cool. Let's come back to this. Hey, Andre. Enjoyed your recent post about how volume, sending more volume directly leads to more results for your business. Who knew was simply just a numbers game, right? If Andre reads that, he's probably going to be able to decipher like, hey, I actually like read and engaged with this content and know what's going on in his business and at least know what he's been talking about here recently. So that's one example that we can utilize. These will take probably like 5 to 10 minutes when you first get started and just figure out what data is available to talk about these people. But use resources like website, LinkedIn, X profile, recent news to gather information for personalization. That eye's in the wrong place. Cool. Now, mass market personalization. This is probably one of my favorite topics. Strategy. Just given that we send so much volume at BuzzLead, and so the way that this effectively works is like it takes a little bit of time and effort. You got to be able to be a bit more strategic. But like what we're going to do is we're going to craft a personalization that makes it seem like it's one-to-one or it's a little bit more natural, but it's actually going out to 1,000 people at a time. And so the way that effectively sounds is, hey, first name, found you on Angie's List, impressed with your glowing reviews. Hey, first name, came across your website on Yelp, can't wait to stop by and check out restaurant name. Hey, my friend was at your restaurant and posted your food on Instagram. Food looks phenomenal. It's on my list to try when I'm in the area. Or let's say you're working in like SEO. Hey, first name, Um, your, actually say, let's see, my sister-in-law sent me your website yet or your store the other day. Sounds like a few items. Sounds like a few of your items are on her list this year. Right, so that's just like one that we could spin up. Hey, first name. Came across your store while searching for vertical, right? Love the awesome product suite you have built out. Right, we can change that a little bit to be a little bit more targeted into what that particular vertical is. But like, love some of the creative jewelry you've built, or impressed with the fitness brand. You know, as somebody that's always aspired to be in one of those. Like, there's different ways that you can spin it, but you want to make it seem natural that you came across the brand in an organic fashion. So that's one way. Social proof. Cool. This is another great one that we utilize. It's pretty underutilized in the market. I haven't seen a lot of other people utilizing it, but you just essentially lead with, hey, I'm working with X to do Z, or, curious to hear if you want to explain that a little bit further. You just jump right into it. And so the way that it sounds is like, let's say, like, hey, first name, we haven't spoken before, but I'm working with export in Gold's Gym, increase their membership 30%, 90 days, using X format. We recently did this for Gold's Gym, right? Da 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 da. Case study, CTA, right? You're just immediately like, hey, I'm working with your neighbor to do this and this. Um, and if then you can like tell a story here, and then you immediately just go for the CTA. Bang, that is like pretty dang relevant, because you're like, I am working with the exact same competitor next door to do this and boost their business by X amount of revenue, or boost their on-site conversions, or create more revenue, right? Like, what can you do to just show that you understand their world and you're working with their competitors? Because it's one of those things where it's just like keeping up with the Joneses. People want to keep up with the Joneses, and they see somebody gets the BMW, they want to get next year's BMW ahead of time. Cool. Next one, tapping into a pain point. Before doing any lead gen research, we want to be sure that we speak to the client's pain points and problems that they're running into in lead generation. If you don't know what those are, I encourage you to speak with your client before you take them on as to what the challenges that people typically have in this area. Utilize Chat GPT, engage with blogs, check out Twitter. Like, what are the typical challenges that people are running into? So, here are some examples I previously typed down. Hey, first name, notice lead growth at company name. I'm sure you're always looking for an effective way to get more leads without spending a fortune on ads. Leading growth at company name. I'm sure your sales team is always looking for more at bats with quality leads. Hey, first name. Running a premium. Oh, let's see. Running a hyper growth e-commerce store. E-commerce store. Always looking ways to optimize your brand. More exposure and conversions. All right, something like that. All right, kind of selling. It's a little bit selling the like pain point, but also kind of selling the future a little bit, which effectively leads into our next targeting strategy, which is going to be tapping into a desire. So we really want to sell the outcome here. If they don't know what that looks like, go back and do some research. But you should know what the ideal output is of the service that you're offering. So leading marketing efforts here, like this is for an SEO one, for example. Leading marketing efforts here, I'm sure you're all too familiar. If you're not on the first page of Google, there's less than a 1% that your ICP engages with your brand. That's a pretty good one that we've utilized for SEO. Leading growth efforts, I'm sure you're always keen to keep your sales team's pipeline full of fresh new leads. Hey, first name. Um, Saw your store earlier. Let's say earlier this week. Make it a little bit more casual. Earlier this week, leading growth efforts. Oh, actually, yeah. Another one that we do for SEO. I'm just going to come back to this. Hey, first name. He was on your store earlier this week and identified a few areas where we're leaving revenue on the table. Mind if I send over a quick resource? Right. This could be a Loom CTA, or it can just be like a direct white paper that you can provide there. But reason being, we're just tapping into a pain point. Right. Those are just a few examples. Cool. And then the last one here that we'll utilize, I can create ones pretty quickly, is just leveraging AI. You can use tools like Bard or GPT or Clay, which I didn't even write here. I like Clay just because it goes pretty quickly and it's relatively cheap. I mean, I think we spend a few $100 there a month. But anyways, here's like the exact application that looks like. I have imported a list of um, big data providers, and so essentially what we'll do, we'll come in here, we'll select the column, select enrich data. We're going to use AI, I think is what it is. Boom. It's going to give you a prompt. Reddit prompts. You can browse these templates. They might have email first lines, right? So you can use LinkedIn post, use job title, right? You can use all this stuff if you want to. I just like to create my own one. Create a short but tailored personalized first line for an email. For first name, demonstrating that to the recipient that you are complimenting their or LinkedIn profile. Keep it short and casual. So we'll run the first 5 examples here. Hopefully it comes back to some decent content. Trying out a new prompt. I'm just shooting from the hip here. But we tinker around at these prompts. Really, the content you want to pull into it is LinkedIn and website. If you can get any recent news, that's great. Subject: impressed by your work at farm. Hi, Libby. I've came across. Eh, personalized first line for an email for personal. Try that again. First word. Change that from complimentary to knowledgeable there. Sometimes takes a second to run. If you haven't set this up before, make sure that you hook up your GPT AI to it. Excuse me, make sure you hook up your GPT API to it. Hi, Charles. I came across your dynamic role in netprotect.com. I was really impressed with your LinkedIn profile, especially your extensive picture. Yeah, those are pretty solid. I mean, it's enough to show that you know enough about their brand. You can keep tinkering with these scripts, but that's just the format that will apply here. Just like, hey, I saw this in this, thought that was interesting. Here's a question about it. But that's the general format that we'll utilize. So come back here. Those are 6 quick personalization tactics that you can apply to book more meetings. I'll be providing a couple more videos this week on how to format an offer, a case study, and a CTA as well. See you all out there.